Hello students, I am Kiran. Today we are going to start first chapter of your maths, that is integer. So before starting the chapter, we will focus on some basic terms. What is integer? What are the different operations that are done on integers? What are the different properties of an integers? So all this thing we will cover in this video. So let's start. First thing, what is integer? So integers are the set of natural numbers, zeros and negative of all the natural numbers. So it means integer include all the positive numbers, it include all the negative numbers, as well as it include zero. So if we will see this representation of the integers on the number line, here one number line is there. So integer include all the positive numbers, all the negative integer, plus it will include zero also. And here one more thing you have to remember students, zero is neither positive nor negative integer, means there is no sign on zero. After this, we'll see certain operations which are performed on integer. So basically four operations are there: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. First we will see addition. Now suppose you want to add two integers. Let first integer be a, second integer be b. Now I want to add two integers. So there are different cases. Let's consider the first case. If both the integers are positive, means a is also positive and b is also positive. So what operation you need to do, means if you want to add a and b and they consist of both positive integers, so the operation means the thing which we have to do, means we have to directly add them. And which sign we will put? Since both the integer having positive sign, we will put the positive sign. So here is one example, both integers are positive. So if you want to add them, this is your value of a, this is your value of b. So if you want to add them, we can add them directly. And which sign, final sign will be result sign positive, because both the integer having positive sign. Second case, if both the integers having negative sign, means first integer is minus b, another integer, second integer is also, first integer is minus a and second integer is minus b. Now you need to add these two integers. Now which operation we will do? We will add them. And which sign? Now here you have to focus, student, which sign we have to put. Since both the integer having same sign, we will put negative sign, because both the integer having negative sign. Now this is a value of a, this is a value of b, both having negative signs, both are negative integers. So first operation, which operation we will do? We will add them. 10 plus 15, 25. And which sign we will put? Since both having negative sign, so minus sign. So final answer is minus 25. So this was your second case. Now the third case, when one integer is positive and another integer is negative. Now you need to add these two integers. So which operation we need to perform? Here now we need to perform subtraction. Because if any one of the integer is negative, directly you have to subtract these two integers and sign, which sign we will put? Whichever the integer having the greater value. Now here one integer, this is your a, this is your b. A is your negative. Now here I have considered anyone. You can consider a also negative, you can consider b also negative, no problem. So here I have considered a as negative, b as positive. So if any one of the integer is negative, which operation we need to do? Here we need to do subtraction. So how you will do the subtraction? Higher value minus lower value. The higher value is 15, 15 minus 10, the answer will be 5. And which sign? Always remember the student, sign will be always of the greater number, greater integer. Now which integer having, which is the greater integer? Greater integer is your 15. So 15 having which sign? Positive sign. So we will put here plus sign. So by default, if no sign is there, you have to assume it is a positive. Now the next case, if one integer is negative and another integer is positive, and if you need to add them, so which operation? It is same like the third case. If any one of the integer is negative, operation, which operation we need to perform? We need to subtract them. And sign always of the greater number. So here let's take an example. These two are the integer a and b. A value is 10, b value is minus 15. Now since one of the integer is negative, So which operation we will perform? We will perform subtraction. So 15 and 10, which have now don't see the sign here just. So 15 and 10, if you will subtract higher value minus lower value, 15 minus 10, what answer you will get? 5. And sign always of greater value. So greater value here, 15 is the greater value. Sign of the 15 having the sign, negative sign. So we will put negative sign here. Now here certain addition rules are there. Let's suppose two integers are there. First integer a, second integer b. Now here, whenever you are adding these two integer, which operation we need to perform? These are the same operation that we have seen here and same cases. It's just a summarized form. If both numbers are positive, what you need to do? You need to add them. If any one of the integer is negative, means plus minus, any one of the integer is negative, what do you need to do? Subtraction. Here we will do subtraction. Now, if any, again, negative, positive. If any one of the integer is negative, again, what do you need to do? Subtraction. So here we can see if any one of the integer is negative, we need to do subtraction. And if both the integers are negative, what do we need to do? Addition. So these two cases are same. Means if the signs are same, what do we need to do? We need to do addition. And if the signs are different, what we need to do? We need to do subtraction. Now our second operation is subtraction. Now for the easy calculation, we just need to renovate this subtraction sign. So for changing the subtraction sign means whenever you having two integers a and b, you need to subtract them. There are just two rules. First rule, you have to convert this subtraction sign into addition. So in the question it is given, you have to subtract these two numbers. So first step, change the subtraction sign to addition. Then later you have to convert the sign. You need to change the sign, take the inverse of the number which comes after the sign. Means after the plus sign, whichever the number is there, you have to change that number's sign. So just we will see this thing with the help of an example. You need to subtract two integers a and b. These two integers are there. Now first step was what? You have to change the subtraction sign to addition. Minus 5, minus 7. We need to subtract these two things. Now minus 5 as it is. Now we have to change this minus into plus. You can see here students, I have changed this minus into plus. Now second step, this first step is over. Now second step, after the plus sign, whichever the number is there, you have to inverse the sign of that number. Now here after the plus, which number is there? 7. So you have to change the sign of 7. By default it is plus sign. You have to now put here minus 7. Now what it become? Minus. Now in the next step, if we will see here this thing, here you are seeing plus minus. Two signs are coming together. So if you want, you can reduce this thing. You can write this thing simple, minus 5 plus minus minus 7. So minus minus, what it will be there? It will be added 7 plus 5. What you will get? 12. And sign will always be of the bigger number or both the number having the same sign. So you can put minus sign. But you can see here also students, minus 5 plus minus 7. In the last case also we have studied if both the number are negative. If suppose this is A, this is B. Since both the numbers are negative, and if you want to add them, what you will do? You will add them directly and you have to put the negative sign. So if you will add 7 and 5, what you will get? 12. And since both the number having the same sign, you have to put the same sign, minus 12. Now our next operation is multiplication. Now two integers are there, a and b. We need to multiply them. So first case, if both a and b are positive, so what you will get? You will get a positive number as a result. So if a multiplied by b, what you will get? AB, and sign will be of positive since both the number having the positive sign. With the example also you can see by default both the integers having positive sign, so final result will be of positive integer. Now if both A and B are negative. So you have to do the operation multiplication A into B, AB, and this minus and minus will become plus. Remember this thing, student. If both the numbers are negative, final answer will be positive integer. With the example also you can see this thing. 3 4s are 12 and minus minus plus. Now if one number is positive and one number is negative, so normal multiplication you have to do A into B, but since any of the number is integer, any of the integer is negative sign, you have to put negative sign here. So final answer will be negative. You can see with the help of the example, 3 4s are 12, and since any one of the integer is negative, you have to put the negative sign in the final result. So this will be negative. Similarly here, first number is negative, another is positive. So multiplication A into B, you will get AB, but since one of the integer is negative, you have to put negative sign here. Now here the integer multiplication rules are there. Now let's suppose this is a column of integer A and this is the column of integer B. And since we need to multiply them, so normal multiplication result will be A into B, AB. Now these are the signs. Which sign the final answer you will have? In the final answer, which sign you will get? So if both the integer are positive, plus plus plus, minus minus plus. This thing you have to keep in mind, student. If both the numbers are negative, you have to multiply them, but the result will be positive. And since any one of the number is negative, final answer will be negative. These two will be negative. Final result will be a negative. Now our fourth operation is division. Now whenever you will divide two positive integer, now here A is also positive, B is also positive. Both are positive integer. So final result you will get positive. So A divided by B, A by B. Now remember this thing, student. Here I have written number. Means if you are dividing two integers, it is not always that you will get a final result as integer. You can get a rational number also. So here, if I have taken an example here, 4 and 3. These both are integer. Now if I am dividing 4 and 3, now 4 divided by 3, you will get 4 by 3. Now 4 by 3 is not an integer. That's why I have written here number. Anyhow, you have to divide them. Now you have to take care of the sign. Since both are positive, the final result will also be positive. Now our second case, if a negative integer is divided by a positive integer, means first number is negative, second number is positive. So A divided by B, you will do the normal division A divided by B. But since any one of the integers, same as in the multiplication, if any one of the integer having a negative sign, final result will be negative. This you can see with the help of the example. Now division of a positive integer by a negative integer. Now A divided by B, first integer is positive, another integer is negative. So normal division will be to A divided by B. Now since any one of the integer, as same as we have done in the multiplication, any one of the integer is negative, the final result will also be negative. Now our last case in the division, you have to divide a negative integer by another negative integer, means both the integers are negative. And since both the integer are negative, final result will be positive. So A divided by minus A divided by minus B. So normally you will divide minus A divided by minus B. So this minus minus will get cancelled out. You will get the final answer as positive. Now we'll see certain properties of integers. Now first property is your closure property. Closure property means what? Like whenever you are applying any operation on two integers or more than two integers, so will you get the final result as an integer or not? And if you're getting final result as an integer, it means it is closed under that particular operation. Now, first we'll see closure property under addition. Means if you will add two integers, whichever the sign they having. If you are adding two integers, so surely you will get a integer as a result. Means closure property satisfy the addition operation. We can say addition follows the closure property. Our next is your closure property under subtraction. So means whenever integers, this property means the integers are also closed under subtraction. Means whenever you are subtracting two integer, surely you will get result as a integer. Means if one integer is -5, another is, let's suppose, 0, still you will get what? -5. That's why subtraction is closed under closure property. Next is your closure property for multiplication. Now integers are closed under multiplication. Means whenever you are multiplying two integers, a and b, if you will multiply two integers, surely you will get a integer as a result. If you will multiply normally 5 by 0, or suppose -5 by 0, -5 you are multiplying by 0, so you will get what? -5 or 0? You will get 0. Any number multiplied by 0, you will get 0, and 0, still 0 is a integer. Now next is your closure property under division. Now here, students, you need to focus, integers are not closed. That's why I've written this in the red color. It does not satisfy the closure property under division. This is false. Means if you're dividing two integer, sometime you can get, like suppose 4 divided by 2. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. The simplified form, you answer, you are getting 2. Now this 2 is an integer, but every time it is not sure that you will get integer only. Like let's suppose I've taken one example, 3 divided by 4. Now you will get what? 3 by 4, and 3 by 4, it is a rational number, not a integer. So that's why division does not follow the closure property. Our next property is commutative property. Now again we will see the commutative property under all the four operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and we'll see which operation is following this commutative property. Now addition is commutative for integers. Means in addition, commutative property is true. Means a plus b will equal to b plus a. You are just swapping the integers. Instead of b, next time a is taking place of b and b is taking place of a. So let's take see this with the help of an example. Now here a value is 5 and b value is -6. Now if I will do a plus b, means you have to add these two integers. So plus minus minus sign, 5 minus 6, plus minus minus, and sign will be of bigger number, you will get -1 as a result. Now here we have swapped the integer. Instead of a, previously the value is 5, now the value will be -6. So a value is now -6 and b value is 5. Now again we have to add these two number, -6 plus 5. So minus plus, what you will do? Since one of the number is negative, you will do subtraction, higher value minus lower value, 6 minus 5, 1, and sign will be of the bigger number having minus sign. So what you will get again? -1. In both the cases, a plus b equal to b plus a, it is satisfied. So we can say addition is commutative for integers. Now next one, commutative property under subtraction. Now subtraction is not commutative for integer. Means subtraction does not follow this commutative property. It means that a minus b is not equal to b minus a. You can see this thing with the help of an example, students. This is a, this is b. When you will subtract, minus minus will become a, plus 8 plus 6, 14. Now if we will interchange the digit, -6 minus 8. Now minus minus plus sign will be of minus. So here you are getting 14, here you are getting -14. That's why subtraction does not support this commutative property. It is not closed. Now next one is your commutative property under multiplication. Now in multiplication, commutative property of integer is closed, means it is true. It means a into b is equal to b into a. You can see here, student, 8 6 are 48, and since one of the number is negative, we will put the negative sign here. Now you have interchanged the position. minus 6 into 8. That is also true. So commutative property is closed under multiplication. Next we will see commutative property under division. Now this division does not follow commutative property for integer. It means a divided by b will not equal to b divided by a. You can see this thing, 8 divided by 3. So you will get 8 by 3. Since one of the number is negative, you will put a negative sign. Now if you will interchange the position. Now previously this was your a, this was your b. Now I am interchanging the position. Instead of 8, now value of a is minus 3, b is this thing 8. Now when you will divide these two integers, minus 3 divided by 8. Now you can see this thing, these are not equal. So commutative property for is not closed under division and it is not closed under subtraction. So commutative property is closed under only in addition and it is closed under in multiplication. Now our next property is associative property. Now in associative property we have to group the numbers together and later we have to change the grouping of the number. So here three integers are there, a, b and c. Now a plus b plus c. Now here we are making a group of b plus c together. We are solving the value of b plus c first. Then whatever the result, then we will add it to a. This will equal to a plus b. Now here I am solving a plus b first. Whatever the result, later we will add this to plus c. So let's see with this example. 5 plus minus 6 plus 4. Now if we will solve this left hand side here. So first we will solve this bracket. So minus 6 plus 4, you will get the value minus 2. Now plus minus minus, so minus 5 minus 2, you will get 3 as your result. Now I am changing the grouping. 5 minus 6 will be solved first. So here when you will solve this thing, what you will get here? Minus 1. So minus 1, this will be added to plus 4 c value. So minus plus minus and sign will be of the bigger number, and since the bigger number having positive sign plus 4, so final answer will be plus 3. So we can say this thing, associative property is closed under addition. Addition follows the associative property, but in subtraction it does not follow the associative property. It means a minus, first we are solving b minus c, this will not equal to a minus b minus c. You can see this with the help of an example also. Now next one is your associative property under multiplication. Now multiplication will also follow the associative property. Now if we will see this thing with an example, suppose 2, 3 and 4. We having these three integers. Now suppose I am solving first two things. 3 2s are 6, 6 4s are 20. Now later I am changing the grouping. 2, 3. Now I am making a group of last two numbers here. So 2 multiply by 4 3s are 12 and again 12 2s are 20. So we can say this thing, multiplication is closed under associative property. Multiplication follow this associative property. Now associative property under division, division does not follow the associative property. So associative property is not followed by division. So again we can see this thing, division is not following and subtraction is not following the associative property. Only addition and multiplication is following the associative property. Our next property is distributive property. Now here in this distributive property of multiplication over addition means again you having three number ABC. Now why this property is called multiplication? Now here we are doing multiplication over what? Addition, because in the bracket sign is what? Of plus sign. Now similarly one more property is there of the distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. Again you are doing multiplication sign is there and inside the bracket which sign is there? Subtraction sign. So these two cases are there in the distributive property. Now we'll see this thing with the help of an example. Now, first of all, what this distributive property states: A multiply by addition of B plus C will equal to what? First we will multiply what? A multiplied by B. So what you will get? AB. Then this plus sign as it is. Then A multiplied by C, you will get AC. Now let's solve this thing. Whether we are getting both left hand side and right hand side same value or not. Let's see. Now 3 multiplied by minus 4 plus 5. So this is your LHS. Now when you will solve this bracket first, minus 4 plus 5, what you will get? Plus 1. So plus 1 into 3, what you will get? Plus 3. Now here 3 fours are in RHS, 3 fours are 12. What you will get here? Minus 12, because one of the number is negative sign. Plus sign as it is, 5 threes are 15. Now you're getting here 15. Now minus 12 plus 15, minus plus minus, and sign will of the bigger number having positive sign. So again you are getting plus 3. So this is called your distributive property of multiplication over addition. Now we'll see distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. Now inside the bracket, which sign is there? Minus sign. So first A into B, you will do what you will get? AB. Then this minus sign, subtraction sign will be as it is. Then A multiplied by C, you will get AC. Now let's check this with the help of the same example here. Now 3 into 4 minus 5. So first we will solve this LHS. First we will solve this bracket. 4 minus 5, you will get the value minus 1. Minus 1 into 3, you will get minus 3. Now RHS. 3 into 4. What you will get here? 12 minus sign as it is. Now A into C means 3 into 5. What you will get? 15. 12 minus 15 minus 3. So you can see this property. That's why it's called distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. Now we'll move to fifth property. Fifth property is your identity property of addition. Now integer 0 is the identity under addition. It means that any integer, in that integer, if you will add 0 or 0 is added to a integer, you will get the same integer. The value does not change. Means if 4 is the integer, if you are adding 0 here or 0 is added to 4, you will get the final answer as 4. So this is called your identity of 0. Now next is your identity of 1, which is for multiplication. Now the integer is 1. Now this 1 is one of the integer. This is multiplied by any of the integer. Means 1 is multiplied by an integer A or integer A is multiplied by 1. You will get the same integer A. Means minus 4 is your integer. In that integer you are multiplying 1 or 1 you are multiplying 2 minus 4. You will get the same answer minus. Similarly, when an integer is multiplied by minus 1, the result of the integer with sign changed. Means if you are having an integer A, you are multiplying by minus 1 or minus 1 you are multiplying by A, you will get minus A. Means a sign is changing. If a number is 5, this you are multiplying by minus 1. Now you will get the same integer, but the sign will get changed. Previously the integer was plus 5, now the integer will become minus 5. Now our next property is additive inverse. Now additive inverse of any integer A will be what? Minus A. Means if a positive number is there, additive inverse will be what? Negative. And if a negative integer is there, its additive inverse will be what? Positive. Now we can see this thing, the additive inverse of minus 5. So minus 5 will convert into plus 5. So how this conversion is done? Minus 5, this was your integer minus 5. In front of this, a negative sign is added. So later minus minus will become plus. That's why you're getting here plus 5. Now suppose you're having plus 5, a integer, its additive inverse will be what? Additive inverse will be what? Same number with the sign change, means minus 5. Now, next one is your absolute value. Now, this absolute value means to think only how far a number is from zero. Means that particular integer, its magnitude or its value is how much far from zero. So here we are not considering the sign. Now you can understood this with the help of an example, students. Let's take an example 6. Now this 6 is 6 way away from 0. Now if I will take plus 6 here, initially I am taking this plus 6. Now what is the distance of this plus 6 from 0? The magnitude is what? 6 there. Now if I will take minus 6, now still how long this minus 6 is from 0? Again it is 6 units there. So here absolute value of this 6 is what? 6 itself. Now this absolute value is sometimes represented by modulus sign also. Like if I want to know the absolute value of minus 5, we can consider this as a magic box also. So whatever the number is put inside this magic box, whether it is negative or positive, outside this magic box it will come positive number only. If minus 5 is there, its absolute value will be 5. If 5 is there, its absolute value will be plus 5 itself. So this is called your absolute value. Now here I have made one table which is the summary table of all the properties of the integers. So all the basic properties which are there, closure property we have seen. We have seen the closure property under all these operations: addition operation, subtraction operation, multiplication operation, and division operation. So we have seen when we add these two any two integers, you will get an integer. That's why it is closed. When we subtract two integers, surely you will get an integer. When you will multiply two integer, you will get an integer, but it is not there in the division. That's why it is not satisfied under division. So closure property is not satisfied under division. Rest all the three operators are satisfying the closure property. Now in the commutative property, a plus b equal to b plus a, and a multiplied by b equal to b multiplied by a. But commutative property we have seen in the subtraction it is not satisfied, and as well as in the division. Similarly, associative property is true under addition and multiplication, not in subtraction and division. And distributive property, we have seen distributive property of multiplication over addition. So that's why it is true under addition. And distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. So it supports in subtraction also, but it is not applicable in multiplication and division. So this is just a summary of all the properties there. Now if you want, student, you can note down this thing, and hopes all these properties of the integers are clear. And in the next video we will solve certain questions of your exercise, and we will see the representation of integers on number line also. Till then, just practice all these properties and try to solve the question by your own. Just take one example of each property and solve that question by your own. Thank you, students.